guys, Brian Connolly here with actually season 2 of these prophetic videos that we've been doing now for, it's been a while. I think we started this back in like October of 2014, and I just want to thank everybody that's been watching, everybody that's, you know, spoken up and talked about how much this has encouraged them and blessed them, and that's our goal. We just want to edify you, bless you, comfort you, and just strengthen you, and also equip you at the same time. And actually what I want to do this entire season is actually talk about something. It's actually a question I get asked probably more than anything else, because I talk a lot about prayer. I preach on prayer, and God, you know, obviously it's one of the ways, you know, that He speaks to us is through our alone time and our communion with Him. So I actually want to take this entire season and talk to you about prayer, methods of prayer, what it is, what it does, what you can anticipate while you're doing it, and actually begin to share with you my actual journey, how I pray and the strength of my prayer life, and things I'm going after in my prayer life, and how I posture myself, and the methods of prayer that I actually utilize and actually practice. So I want to equip you, not only inform you this season, but I also want to equip you in your prayer life, because I feel like it's the one thing, worship and prayer, it's just like those two things in the Christian life that everybody knows that they should be doing, that not everybody's teaching on. There's countless books on a lot of these things, but I believe it is possible to equip somebody and encourage them in a prayer life where they feel like they're being effective, where they feel like they're getting something out of it, and where they understand it in such a way that they actually desire and want to be alone with God. In fact, that's what I want to talk to you about today. It's a story that I want to tell, a personal story that happened to me a couple of years ago, and some of you may know this story. I've shared it maybe a couple of times, but there was a moment shortly after my second daughter was born, after Lily was born, February 20th of 2012, where I'm sitting in this living room, and I'm with my wife's grandmother, and she had come because we needed help with our oldest, and because I was running back and forth to the hospital. Nicole, you know, had a C-section, so she was in there a few days, and somebody needed to be with Emma while I was in there with Nicole and with Lily. And the one night when I came back from the hospital, my wife's grandmother and I, call her Nana, so Nana and I would stay up late at night. We would talk, and she said to me one day, she said, "Brian," she said, "I want you to know I've read your book." And I'm thinking to myself, that's awesome. You know, she read the first book that I'd ever written, called First Dance, Venturing Deeper into a Relationship with God. And she said, in that book, you talk about how you can spend hours praying, seeking God, you know, hours a day, you know, doing that, you know, and then that's a desire of yours, and that's something that you live to do. She said this, she said, "I've been a Christian for almost 70 years, and I don't understand what you're talking about. Can you help me understand that?" And I sat there, and it was such a heavy question. It was such a beautiful, authentic, sincere desire for heart to understand, what does it mean to genuinely pray and desire God, and to seek Him, and to draw near to Him, and to find Him. And I think I threw out some generic response, and I don't even remember what the exact words were that I even used anymore. But I do know this. I remember walking up the steps. I remember us ending our conversation. And I remember being dissatisfied with the fact that I felt like I didn't answer it adequately. And I remember going up the steps and going into my bedroom, and I remember putting my headphones on, and I was listening to my iPod, and I was just worshiping the Lord, and I was praying, just bringing an end to the day, and I had on Jonathan David Helser's song called Abba. And I remember as I'm listening to this song, I remember God coming and saying to me, "Brian, do you know what the strength of your prayer life is?" And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, no, but I'm about to find out, because He's not going to ask me without informing me, you know, what it is. And He said, "The strength of your prayer life is found in this, that you settled in your heart a long time ago that I desire you." And it floored me, because it was the truth. And the reason why I had settled that in my heart, and there's going to be an invitation for you here at the end of this video to go and do the same, because my desire has always been to be desired. My desire has always been to be understood, and to be cherished and pursued, and to be loved. And when I found out that it's God's desire for me to be with Him, that He desires me, that He made me to commune with Him and to be in a relationship with Him, and to hear His voice and to draw near to Him because He wants to draw near to me, it changed everything. And so the reason why this has become a strength in my life is I had spent probably a good portion of about a year meditating on the verse that I'm going to read to you right now. It's out of the Song of Solomon, chapter 7, in verse 10. I have it memorized, but I thought, hey, I might as well just read it to you straight out of the Word here. It says this: I am my beloved's, and his desire is for me. And I would literally meditate on that verse. And what I mean by that, when I say the word meditate, is I would sit there and I would think about that verse. I would ponder it, and I would let it just continue to ring out in my heart and my spirit. And the more I would quote it to myself, and the more I would sit there, because some people don't realize is you're making a declaration that says, I am my beloved, that you belong to him, that you are his, that your home is inside his heart, that he's your everything. And then it goes on to say, and his desire is for me. And the more I would sit and the more I would meditate on that, the more it became apparent to me that he wanted to be with me. And when I grasped that, when I understood that more, that he paid this price so that I could be his, and that he wants to be there, he wants to be closer than a friend, I would get alone with him, and I would just be overwhelmed, or just undone, or just, sometimes when I get alone and pray with God, like that verse is enough, and I just sit and I know he's there, and I know he wants to be with me, and it blesses me beyond measure. I can't really explain it. My encouragement to you, even as you're watching this, turn the video off and just go right now and take that verse and meditate on it until it becomes such a reality in your heart that when you go and when you close the door, when you're in your car, you're in the shower, that verse rings so true in your heart that he desires you. And because of that, he's right there. He's made his home in you, and you're going to begin to live with a conscious awareness of the fact that as much as you desire him and to know him, he desires it far more for you. And so we're going to talk about what does intimacy with God look like, and what does it mean to know and to be known. So you are his beloved, and his desire is for you. Shut the tape off, hit the pause button, do whatever you have to do. Go get alone, thank God for that, and make that a reality in your heart. Next week, we're going to continue talking about prayer, what it looks like. This whole season, we're going to equip you in your prayer life, and you're just going to soar to new heights with God. So bless you, and we'll see you next week.
What you first gave to me